Welcome back, weary travelers, to 2026. 2025 was a very long year. We managed to get a lot of what we had planned finished up, along with some new goals this year. Last year, we started off the year with 160 subs, and the goal was to make 320. However, we didn't reach that goal, but we still managed to make it to 234 as of the recording of this video. Our regular goal is to be hit 300 subs and ambitiously hit 500. So we'll see how that all plays out throughout the year. As a recap of 2025 of the list of the games we completed this year, we had got to the games that we really wanted to, and we managed to wrap up a lot of projects. We had Little Nightmares 1, FNAF Secret of the Mimic, Hollow Knight, finally finished Amnesia the Bunker, and wrapped up Silent Hill 2. Out of those games, my hands down favorite was Hollow Knight. The storyline was awesome. The gameplay was amazing. Every single fight was brutal. Almost every single fight was brutal. And it really felt like an accomplishment every time you beat a boss. And we managed to also beat the Path of Pain on that, which took us forever. To the point where I think one stream I ended up doing it for like 6 hours, and the next one I did it for 2. So we put pretty much like a full work day in on the Path of Pain, to where my thumbs were actually sore and my finger was starting to get a little cut open from having to push the dash button so much. In Little Nightmares 1, we played as a character who was trying to escape a prison ship where the kids were being eaten. That was a lot to deal with. And we're working on the DLC now, so we should be able to wrap that up too, and hopefully move on to Little Nightmares 2. FNAF Secret of the Mimic, we played as a character who had to go to a warehouse to recollect some lost technology from someone they were contracting with. And that one, the artwork and the character designs in that game were really cool. I honestly enjoyed that game. Amnesia the Bunker, we played as a World War II soldier who was trapped in a bunker with a creature of a creation of one of your fellow soldiers, who ended up in like a pit with some type of power that he got imbued with and turned him into a monster, and he murdered everybody, and you were stuck in a bunker with him the entire time. Silent Hill 2 played as James Sunderland, who had to go back to Silent Hill because he got a letter from his wife telling him to come back. Not gonna spoil it, but that game was an emotional roller coaster. Huge plot twist at the end. We currently have all those videos on the channel at this moment, so if you wish to go watch them, you may feel free to do so. This year, which is funny, because last year our 2 best videos were DBD lore videos. And funnily enough, same thing happened this year as well, with our best videos being the animatronic from FNAF, also as well as the Crashu, which one was a license and the other was an original design for a character. And due to the last 2 years of having DBD videos, even if they were just lore videos, being the best on the channel, we're going to try to lean more into the DVD content a little more this year. We're going to be trying to pick a character and try to get them from Ash to Eerie throughout the seasons. It'll be a new project for me because I haven't really done much of live commentary on DVD matches, so bear with me, rawr. As we work through that project, it's going to probably start off a little rough, but with practice and enough doing it, who knows, we might get to a point where it starts feeling natural. This year also, we started streaming with real consistency as much as possible every week. We've been doing, at first we started off with just indie horror games, which are a lot of fun to do. Sometimes the stories are a lot better than some of the major games, and they're only 2 hours long, so they don't really take a lot of investment in. Like, it's just short enough to where you feel like you got enough value out of it, but not long enough to where it feels like it's dragged on. And this year's indie horror games were the Vesnith tapes, where we were a police officer who went to investigate a house where we got called there for some reason. Turns out the place was haunted. We did Cabin Factory, where we had to go through and investigate every single cabin that came across. Your goal was to determine whether or not the cabin was haunted. And you had to do that 10 times in a row. That got rough. 9 Child Street, where we ended up playing as a kid who there was a house across the street where a person was kidnapping kids and turning them into dolls. And we explored that as a child. That was terrifying. Then we had Dread Flats, where we played as a social influencer who was dared by his chat to go stay at a lot of haunted places. A haunted apartment building, and ended up finding something there that we didn't really enjoy. And the last one was Zardy's Maze, which we played, which is a game where we entered a corn maze, and our job was to find a plant at the center. Or find like 3 plants in the maze, chop them down, escape the maze. That one took a lot of bumbling around until we figured out how the game was working. And then once we got down to the final part of it, it got really intense. No. All those are also on the channel as well for your viewing pleasure. As for our current streaming games, we kind of moved on from doing only indie horror games and trying to get more stuff that like has consistency to it. So we've been streaming Saturday nights. We've been doing Metroidvania games, which has mainly been Hollow Knight. Finished that early this year and then we started up Silksong, which we are currently going through. I think we've done like 2 streams on that so far, and it is definitely a lot more difficult than the first Hollow Knight. I'm definitely feeling it. Sundays are specifically for Stardew Sundays, which been having a lot. I say this a lot in the stream. I have a lot more fun with Stardew than I was expecting to have in the first place. I kind of did it at first just to kind of like have something to play, but like now that I'm invested in it, we're in year 2 and everything is full on production. Like we're in the second winter right now, and the goal is to try to set up to where we can do nothing but beer and wheat when summer rolls around, and then try to get one barn that's dedicated just to pigs so I could get as much truffles as possible. We finally got the greenhouse. That felt good. We got married to Leah, so she helps out on the farm from time to time if I don't have it up in full automation. And right now the goal is to just get as many casks and taps as possible while trying to make sure the farm remains as profitable as possible. As for the third night, we've kind of been here and there with it, doing whatever I feel like playing. Kind of recently been leaning back into the indie horror games. As of recently, we played over the past few weeks. We started off our first stream with just playing a game, Genshin Impact, which we play on the side for our own pleasure. And then last week we played Letters from Bernard Thorne, which had to do with a Vietnam War veteran who is in a wheelchair, who has to get around his house and dealing with PTSD, trauma, and all that. Like, it was a very difficult game to play and very restrictive with the movements with the whole wheelchair aspect of it, which really helped put a lot of things into perspective of how difficult it can be to be in that type of situation. That game did not end how I thought it would. Like, I literally saw it going one way, and then they yanked the rug at the last second. And then by the same company, just recently, earlier this week, we played a game called Love Sam. In Love Sam, you're alone in it states that alone in your room, you see a diary sitting on your desk. It wants to tell you a story about a high school crush, a story about a small town romance, and a story about how everyone is against you and nobody will ever love you again. Sounds great, I know. The game itself really had a good job of setting the ambiance of it.
All right.
Like, there's no music in the game whatsoever. The only sound you have is the rain on the window.
That's not cool.
The clock ticking on the wall, and whatever else decides to disturb your peace at that night.
I'm a little scared.
And it was really good. Like, as you're sitting there in the game, you're flipping through this diary, reading it, and as you're reading it, stuff in the room reacts around you when you get to certain points. He's not exactly the. And it did a very good job of setting up the tension. I like this one for the jump scares and the environmental settings or the ambiance settings were definitely better in this game. However, the storyline of the letters, those were more story rich. However, both of these games are by the Korean Linguistics Labs. I would recommend following them and playing their games as well. They are very worth it. Both those games are also up on the channel for you to watch at your own leisure. As for the plans for this year, the games that we have planned that we're going to try to get to are Hollow Body, which we did the demo on a while back, continue Red Dead Redemption 2, potentially get to Poppy's Playtime as like a small little horror game for us to play, get to Little Nightmares 2. There's been a Halloween game announced, which I do want to get to that when it does, and we want to cover that as much as possible when it gets released. We're going to be trying to get back into doing the Marvel Rivals lore. It's just been a little rough trying to get back to that with everything that's been going on lately. And then we also want to get to Resident Evil Requiem when it comes out as well. So we have a very ambitious plan this year, and we are going to be trying our best to make sure as much of this gets accomplished as possible. We stream Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Saturdays are for Metroidvania games, Sunday is for Stardew Sunday, and Monday is for either a small horror game or whatever we feel like playing that night if we have nothing available. But those are all our plans for 2026. I hope everybody has a good, happy, safe, and successful new year. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Every little bit helps. Follow on Twitch. We'll be there. Thank you all for watching. Until next time. Safe travels.